friends, today join Julia Simpson, the President and CEO of WTTC, for the global launch of its 2025 Economic Impact Report and find out why India is standing out as one of the world's fastest-growing travel and tourism powerhouses.
So with your permission, Dr. Suri, I'll just begin by talking about our numbers. Those of you that don't know the World Travel and Tourism Council, we're a global organisation and we represent the voice of the private sector. We have 200 CEOs in our membership, which includes WTTCII, one of the key areas that we do is we advocate for the transformative power that is travel and tourism. And we do this, some of it with data. We've been working for 30 years with Oxford Economics, and we've published some unique data that, from our point of view, that talks about the impact that our sector has on a country's economy, both in terms of jobs and contribution to GDP. So today we will be announcing the numbers for India. And what we're going to be looking at is travel and tourism's performance last year for 2024, our forecast for this year, and also our forecast for the next 10 years for India. First, I want to take a moment to reflect on last year. It was a truly incredible year for travel and tourism here in India. Domestic travel spending was crucial in what was a post-pandemic recovery, and I know some of you want to talk to me about domestic travel. I actually think it's a very significant and key cornerstone of the travel and tourism economy here in India. International travel has now returned with unprecedented vigour, surpassing all previous records. This was for 2024. So last year, international visitor spending to India reached a record 3.1 trillion rupees. We do have numbers in dollars for those of you that require it. That's 9% above the previous peak of 2019, so that is a record number. And the revival of international tourism is propelling travel and tourism into a new era of growth in India. Domestic travel, as I said, remained a vital force, with spending soaring to 15.5 trillion rupees. That's 22% above 2019 levels. And this spending from both domestic and international travellers led to another record, with travel and tourism's contribution to the Indian economy reaching almost 21 trillion rupees. That's 20% of the contribution from 2019, and accounted for, we were just talking about it with a colleague, just shy of 7%, 6.6% of national GDP. Now, as we know, travel and tourism is also a very significant employer in India, and last year we saw another record broken, with jobs in the sector reaching an all-time high of more than 46 million jobs created by our sector across India, and that represents over 9% of total employment in this country. Now, last year, 20 million people from around the world visited India, 2.3 million more than 2019. This reaffirms the country's status as a leading global destination, and business travel is also experiencing record growth. It hit 1.1 trillion rupees last year, surpassing the 29 peak by 12.6%. And the travel and tourism sector in India presents a real opportunity to nurture entrepreneurship. But we cannot afford to rest. To maintain this momentum, travel and tourism needs investment and targeted policy support. There's also a strong need for infrastructure development, including high-speed rail. Now, I want to just pause here because many of you would have been at the IATA summit yesterday, and we had the great honour of listening to His Excellency the Prime Minister Modi, and he was very, very proud to announce that India has just taken over the 4th slot as the biggest economy in the world. And he was also talking about the commitment to grow international airports from 162 to over 200 airports in the coming years. And I wrote down some wonderful points that he was making. Yes, that means we've got 8 to 10 airports opening every year. We've got 32 kilometres of road and 12 kilometres of rail, being opened every day. So this is a country massively investing in infrastructure, and I was so proud of that. And Indigo was the airline that, as you know, sponsored the event. Our members also, we have members from the Tata Group, and obviously Air India is now also a significant and serious player in the international arena. So I just wanted to say how proud we were to receive that message, and we couldn't, agree more that this is a perfect time now for travel and tourism, because I think by his attendance at a major international aviation event, he was also signalling his commitment to our sector. And we know that together with that, it's important for governments to invest in overseas tourism promotion. And I'm confident that while there has been some diminution in that arena, I am very confident, listening to the Prime Minister yesterday, that there will be a real focus on marketing India to a global audience. So the future does look very bright, and we strongly support the government's plans also to simplify the e-visa process. I was very pleased to experience an e-visa process as a British national when I arrived. I think that could be simplified even more. You're seeing that journey to digital, and the e-visa process. There was still a little bit of paper that we had to fill in on the aeroplane, but I think we'll probably be seeing that disappear. So with the kind of entrepreneurship here, I think we will see the trend that's also happening in very much in Southeast Asia, of a completely entire digital end-to-end experience, and I think India is well on route to that. Now, if I can just pause 1 second and just now look at this year, because the reason I gave you 2024 numbers as well is we've just closed out 2024 with Oxford Economics. So now I want to give you the forecast for the rest of this year and for 2035. Sorry, there are a lot of numbers. They are available. They're in your press notice, and we've also got a fact pack. So just bear with me. We anticipate a record-breaking performance for travel and tourism in India this year, with economic contribution set to reach over 22 trillion rupees, and employment in the sector is expected to reach over 48 million employees. That's 2 million more jobs in travel and tourism this year than last year. And international visitor spend is expected to reach 3.2 trillion rupees. And while spending from domestic travellers, which I do think is a very important cornerstone of our economy here, is set to hit 16.8 trillion. Now, if we look ahead to the next 10 years, travel and tourism's contribution to the national economy is forecast almost to double, to reach just under 42 trillion rupees, with the sector employing 64 million people. And our data strongly indicates that India is well positioned to become a world leader in tourism, obviously driven by its rich heritage, stunning natural landscapes, and modern advancements. And WTTC urges the government to provide clear and consistent policy support that reflects the sector's inherent resilience and ambitious goals. I just wanted to give you some global numbers. Globally, travel and tourism represents 10% of travel and tourism of the global economy, and I'm fully expecting over the next few years that India will also get to represent 10% of India's economy as well.
You are watching Travel World Online.